You know, we all need that advice from the top, because you a bad woman. Tell us about, like, what advice have you gotten? What type of advice do you get from the top? That sounds like a whole nother level.
April, I have to tell you, it really is another level, because I wrote this book out of frustration. I had worked with women groups, and I was encountering so many women who were experiencing sexual harassment, race discrimination, and all of these things. And it seemed that no one understood that collectively they could really move to the top of their professional career. All they needed was some mentoring. They needed persistence, which it took me to get this book done. It was many years, and I have to tell you, my husband encouraged me. He's here today. My daughter, Anika, proud MIT graduate. My son, Paul Campbell, who is also a proud graduate of Miami. They stuck with me because they know I like to go to places, I like to do things, and somebody needs to get up and go to a 9 to 5 every day. Okay? So, and I just had to say, when I saw all of this happening over and over again, it was important for me to share the stories of these 14 women. I had women like Kathy Hughes, women like Deborah Lee. There were also Andrea Rowan from the media, and others who aren't as well known, but a superintendent who encouraged reading. All of these women had something unique to say about how they move forward. And the interesting thing that I tried to do was to tell folks that, you know, there are a lot of problems. You're not just going to shoot to the top. Like April told you, she's at the White House, which she is, as a journalist, at the top of her game. You are not just going to shoot to the top without going through some gender discrimination, some race discrimination, and some other kind of isms that you have to find a way to cope and still do what you need to do.
Let me ask you something really quickly. When we're talking about advice from the top and all the things that you face, let's talk about the art of negotiation, because a lot of people, even authors here, you know your talent, you know your worth, but sometimes you're scared to ask for your worth, and negotiation can sometimes get us a little uneasy. Can you talk about that, even in putting your own book, how you had to go through negotiating?
I can tell you it was very tough.
Talk a little louder.
It was very tough, because many times as I was putting this together, it was very easy to write the book. It was very easy to put my thoughts down, but to get a publisher to actually decide that he wanted to have this book, that is what was crucial. Because you get letters all the time that will come back when you're doing the book proposals, and they would say, you know what, I like this book, but I think this belongs somewhere else. And you have to decide just how much energy am I going to put with this person. So sometimes we need to know who we need to move out of our life if they're not helpful, and find those that are willing to push us forward. Because I can tell you, with the small press, even with it, you get to a yes. And I know I had at least 40 rejections for doing this book, okay? It's in libraries all around the country and the world now. But just to get it done, we had people who decided this is what your advance would be, and they have all of this legalism. So when you have all this legalism, you know you got to bring in your big guns too, to see if what they are telling you they're going to give you is worthy. But I think the key is that we just have to believe in our own abilities. Once you have prepared yourself, the sky is the limit. And I think that you just need to remember that. Be encouraged by those who are around you with the mentoring relationship. Don't be afraid. When people say, just as Victoria told me, I can do this book fair for you, don't be afraid and start saying, well, I don't know if I can get a book fair. I mean, how many authors? I might not have but 2 authors. Just do it.
Wow.
And that's what I wanted to say.
Thank you.